Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Josh and this is your stimulus check update for the second stimulus package for Tuesday, August 11th. I hope everyone is off to a good and safe Tuesday so far. In this video, I'll be discussing both the first and second stimulus checks. I'll also be discussing hazard pay, how talks are going for the next relief package, and then I'll be wrapping up this video by answering some of the comments and questions that I received in my previous video. But first, if you wouldn't mind real quickly liking this video, giving me a big thumbs up. It really just helps with the YouTube algorithm in terms of pushing this video out to other viewers like you, and hopefully helping other people like you as well. Okay, so I just wanted to start out this video by showing a couple of different maps of cities and how they're doing as far as unemployment goes. Here is the Washington, D.C. area. As you can see, even the DC area is being largely affected, and you can really see where the greatest amount of unemployment is centered around. Obviously, the darker shade of color, the higher amount of unemployment there. Okay, let's move right along to New York. Here is the before in New York as of February 2020. And now, are you ready for it? Here's the after as of June 2020. Not much of a surprise, considering how businesses were forcibly shut down. Just an insane drop though. Finally, here's the last one, I promise, Chicago. As you can see in the before photo, even though there is still a good amount of unemployment in the South Chicago area, overall it really isn't too bad. Okay, and now here's the after. As you can see, it's just bad, really, really bad. High unemployment all over. And again, I can't necessarily say it's shocking considering businesses were forcibly shut down due to the virus. Of course, I do have to mention that this data is comparing data from February of this year to June of this year. So obviously now we're in August at this point in time, and things are going to be looking a little bit better if we were going to redo this map. But obviously we still have a long ways to go to get back to where we were at the beginning of this year. Now, with all that said, let me know in the comment section below if you were able to find a job within the last few months, and if you're still looking for a job at this point in time, how optimistic are you in your job hunt? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. All right, so Treasury Secretary Stephen Mnuchin said on Monday that he believes that the Democrats are willing to compromise, and he also noted that if there is a fair deal with the White House and the Democrats, then they are more than likely able to get a deal by the end of this week. This is obviously very good news because even though Trump was able to extend several things such as unemployment through his executive order, obviously a more long-term solution would be a more viable option at this point in time. Besides, being that people who receive less than $100 per week in state unemployment insurance benefits will not receive the $300 federal kick-in, they're really getting the raw end of the deal here. You heard that absolutely right. If you receive less than $100 in your state unemployment insurance benefits, then you will not be receiving the $300 federal kick-in. So if you only receive $99 or less in weekly state unemployment benefits, you will have to be living off of approximately $396 per month without any kick-in at the federal level. So not such a good deal for those people. Now, the White House claims that the reasoning behind this is to prevent fraud and abuse. Take that for how you will. So with all that said, what do you guys personally think about that? Do you think that it's fair for people receiving less than $100 in state weekly unemployment benefits to not be receiving anything at the federal level? Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. Now, President Trump claimed top Democrats have already reached out to the White House to restart negotiations on the next stimulus aid. However, oddly enough, Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer denied that they ever reached out to them. Schumer said, quote, "Fables from Donald Trump. Fables. That's what he seems to specialize in. I didn't call him. Speaker Pelosi didn't call him. No, we didn't call him." How bizarre. Schumer went on to say, "He makes these things up or hears from somebody at one of his fundraisers or at his country club. Oh, the Democrats are calling you. He acts like it's true." President Trump also tweeted out, "So now Schumer and Pelosi want to meet to make a deal. Amazing how it all works, isn't it? Where have they been for the last 4 weeks when they were hardliners and only wanted bailout money for Democrat-run states and cities that are failing badly? They know my phone number." So I guess it doesn't really matter who's lying or who's telling the truth. We just want a deal to get done for the American people. No more pointing fingers, no more blame games, get a deal done, period. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer still seems pretty confident at this point in time that a deal will get done. Schumer said, quote, "The Republicans, you know, they're in a pickle. You have 20 of them who don't want any money whatsoever, but then you have 10 or 15, many running for re-election, who are desperate to get a package. and they're all hanging their hats on this executive order. Well, now it's clear that these executive orders are going to be minimal at best. I have to say that Schumer is right here. Even though an executive order seemed necessary at that point in time, passing of another stimulus package is extremely vital because Trump wasn't able to take care of other things, such as a second round of stimulus payments, which many Americans are definitely counting on at this point in time. Since stimulus payments weren't a part of Trump's executive order, and more than likely he won't be able to issue an executive order for stimulus payments, that would be something that would have to go through Congress, it is vital that we do have a second stimulus package. The executive order issued by Trump also doesn't restore the Paycheck Protection Program, which expired on August 8th and was very valuable for small businesses. There are just so many issues that must be addressed. What I would say the most frustrating thing is, at least according to Stephen Mnuchin, is that there were really only two things that the Republicans and the Democrats disagree with. Those two things being state and local government aid and also the federal unemployment insurance benefits. So the two sides could have easily, at least according to Mnuchin, agreed on the 70 to 80% of the issues that they did agree with, such as stimulus payments, the Paycheck Protection Program, and other issues such as that, and then they could have went from there. However, Stephen Mnuchin says that the Democrats make it perfectly clear that they're not going to agree on a piecemeal deal. They want to hold up the American public from getting the money they need until they get everything they want, which is just a bad outcome. That's what Stephen Mnuchin had to say about that. Now, with all that said, do you personally believe that Nancy Pelosi should hold up a deal in order to get some of the things that she wants, such as more aid for the state and local governments? Let me know what your thoughts are on that in the comment section below. Okay, so here are some of the things that we should most definitely still be optimistic about at this point in time. First off, the two sides are still very much interested in passing another stimulus package. They realize that the American people need more aid and they're willing to compromise at this point in time. So let's hope that the two sides can compromise and reach a deal. Secondly, if they are able to reach a deal in the next relief package, that also means another round of stimulus payments to all Americans. It should be another round of $1,200 stimulus payments, and dependents over the age of 17 should also expect to receive a payment as well. It should be at least $500 and potentially $1,200, so that's very good news. Thirdly, if another relief package gets passed, that will also mean that the unemployment insurance program at the federal level should also be extended on a more long-term and permanent basis, which is very good news because Trump's executive order may last 5 weeks at best, and there may be some legal challenges as far as that goes, so it would be much better off to have a long-term, more permanent and stable solution in place. And finally, it's quite possible that hazard pay for essential workers could be a part of the next stimulus package. Stephen Mnuchin did claim that the only disagreement that him and the Democrats had were based off the federal unemployment benefits and the aid for state and local governments. So with that said, the Democrats did want hazard pay for essential workers. So Mnuchin said that he only disagreed on those two issues. So it's quite possible that Mnuchin and the Republicans are agreeing as far as hazard pay for essential workers go. We'll just have to wait and see on that one though. Okay. So at this point in time, I'm just going to go ahead and give a quick update on the first round of stimulus payments because like I mentioned in my prior videos, unfortunately, there are still millions of people who haven't even received their first stimulus payment, even though a second round of stimulus payments may possibly be going out in the next month or so if Congress can finally get their act together. Now, if you still haven't received your first stimulus payment, the IRS is going to be sending out some more direct deposits tomorrow. So in the meantime, just continue checking the payment portal and let me know in the comment section below if you received your first stimulus check. And also let me know in the comment section below if you check the payment portal and you see that you have a pending direct deposit date for tomorrow. That would be very good news. Now, for you expats that are living abroad outside the United States, the IRS also recently noted that they should be sending you a direct deposit in your US-based bank account no later than tomorrow or possibly on Friday the 14th. So if you're an expat living abroad, continue checking the payment portal and look for that date and continue checking your bank account. You may have a direct deposit in there tomorrow. Now, if you do not have a US-based bank, unfortunately, it is going to take a little bit longer because the IRS is unable to directly deposit payments into non-US based banks. So instead, they're going to be sending you a check in the mail instead. So just be checking your mailbox and hopefully it doesn't take too long for your mail to arrive. Also, one more thing that I did want to mention is that if you do want to call the IRS, you most definitely can. Their IRS EIP hotline is 1-800-919-9835. And as always, I would recommend for you to call a little bit earlier in the day just to avoid those longer hold times. Okay, so at this point in time, I'm just gonna go ahead and answer some of the comments and questions that I received in my previous video. And if you have any other comments or questions for me, feel free to leave them in the comment section below. I do try to respond to as many comments and questions as I possibly can. And those comments and questions that I'm not able to respond to, I do try to pick some of the more popular ones to answer in the next video in video form. Okay, so without further ado, let me go ahead and jump into the first question of today's video. And that comes from Matthew. Matthew says, will people who receive the first stimulus check get the second stimulus check automatically? All right, thank you so much for that question, Matthew. And yes, if you receive the first stimulus payment, then you should also be receiving the second stimulus payment as well. And we shouldn't have to be jumping through those hoops of the payment portal or the non-filers tool. The IRS has all of our information from the first round of stimulus payments, so the second round should be going out much, much quicker. Okay, so the next question of today's video comes from Cindy. Cindy says, hi Josh. My question is, will I be receiving the $500 for one of my dependents that I did not get in the first stimulus check? I have two dependents, 16 and 18, in the first stimulus check. I only got $1,700. I appreciate it if you answer my concern. Thank you. I love all your videos, by the way. All right, Cindy, thank you so much for that question, and thank you so much for your support and watching my videos. I really, really appreciate that. And as far as your question goes, the amount that you were sent is correct. You're only supposed to receive $500 per dependent, but the catch is the dependent had to be younger than 17. So you only have one dependent younger than 17, and your other dependent is older than 17. So the amount that you received was correct. Now, as far as the second stimulus check goes, if Congress does pass one, then both dependents would be eligible for the second stimulus payment. So for your next stimulus payment, you should be receiving $1,200 for yourself, and then at least $500 for each dependent. So that would be $1,000 extra. Okay, so on that note, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up this video. If you did enjoy the content in this video and you'd like to see more videos like it, please consider subscribing to my YouTube channel. It is completely free to do so, and it's a great support to me. Also, if you would like to receive 2 free stocks from Webull, the second free stock valued all the way up to $1,400, please feel free to claim those 2 free stocks by clicking the link in the description box below. And until next time, I'll see you guys, and I hope you have a great day today.